everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, place of buying and advising Afterbirth Plus. Great run last time, got some things done. Do we? Okay, here's the thing. We are kind of due for some Azazeling, but is there a chance unlocked by beating the Hoosh? Is that what that is? Greed mode with Azazel. Yeah, but I don't really like Lilith, so like, I actually think I'm just gonna do like an Isaac run. Continue to unlock stuff, beat Mom's Heart 10 times, etc., etc. 2J71QSRS. We should be unlocking things on pretty much every single run. So let's see what our first item is here. You know what? Little Monstro, acceptable. Almost called him Little Bumbo. That's because I'm a fake gamer. Doesn't even know that it's... Okay, sure, yeah. But like, okay, yeah, I'll do it, but I'm a little frightened. 9 lives is amazing, except for the loss of HP early. So we should really just restart and play as Judas, but so be it. Life is but a friggin' dream, bud. Yeah, where was I? It's weird doing these 25-minute Isaac episodes. I'm kind of reveling in them because I'm aware of the fact that in like a month, they're all gonna be 35 to 90 minutes long. So it's kind of like it's like the first couple of days of school. It's like a good metaphor for it because it's also early September right now, but you know, you're going back to school. You know, and by the way, this never changes. If anyone tells you that it ever changes, they are lying. Because it's the way bureaucracy works, apparently. The first couple of days, especially at college, you can usually, I'm the #1 guy who's like, go to class, okay? Always go to class. I'm being sincere with you. I've gone to classes, like, over the past few years, where I finish class, get in a taxi, get on an airplane, fly somewhere else with my backpack and, like, all my homework in it. I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm a big shot, I'm flying all the time. I'm just saying, you know, if I'm like, well, I could skip class because I have a flight 2 hours after the class ends, or I could just go because that's what I signed up for. You can do it too. I've had times I get off an airplane, take a nap, go to class that night, despite being like 12 hours jet lagged, okay? I'm just saying this for motivation and also to cover my own butt. I'll also say if you're in your first year of college, go to your first classes. Because then, you're basically going to your first class for every class that'll ever exist. You can take that, Bumbo. What I mean, and those of you at that point in your lives are going to know what I'm talking about, is every single course starts with a lecture about academic standards and academic dishonesty. So I just want to be the first person to say, hey, if you plagiarize or engage in academic dishonesty, I hate you. I don't hate you necessarily because you're doing something unethical. I hate you because as a result of your actions and you getting caught, apparently, every academic institution I've ever been to past the age of 17 wastes an hour of the entire class's time thanks to you being kind of a dick about it, you know? So now every single, as a 29-year-old man, I take a programming class. It's like, you know, intermediate algorithms using Java. And then the start of the class, our 55-year-old professor has to lecture a room full of other adults about like, hey, don't steal your friend's work or it's stealing and you'll fail. And we're all like, yeah, I know. Like, we have like jobs and like infants and stuff like that. Like, can we fit in an extra lecture instead of doing this? Like, we're all on the level here. So again, if you engage in academic dishonesty, screw you twice. Once for the engaging in academic dishonesty and once for wasting the rest of all of our other time. Regardless, though, we're heading down here. So far, so good. I mean, this run is amazing. There's no complaints whatsoever. It's almost like an Azazel run. But anyway, that's all I'm saying is, you know, it's your first lecture in, you know, Chem 373. There's 36 lectures. They're 50 minutes long each. You know that if you skip that first one, it's probably going to be, hi, my name is blah. The TA's names are blah and blah. Here's their email addresses. Here's the syllabus that's also, you know, contained online. Here's what percentage of the course is going to be final exam, what percentage is going to be midterm, etc., etc. And then like, okay, well, that's all it. We're out of time. Don't plagiarize. See you tomorrow for when we start talking about chiral forms, you know? Anyway, all I'm saying, I got a little academically sidetracked. All I'm saying is that's what these Isaac episodes are like right now. It's like the first week of school where you're like, we don't really need to be here. Now, I still show up every time. Because you never know. You know, learning, it's foundational. You want to make sure you don't miss like something important the professor says in the first week that's going to make you look like a fool for not knowing it by week 2. Like, oh, how do I open the command line? Anyway, you get the idea. Regardless, this is what these Isaac episodes are like. It's just it's a nice casual time. So what I promised I would talk about, and is a prickly issue that maybe nobody cares about except PAX attendees, is increased streamer visibility at events. Okay, so we do it like this. It's the simplest thing in the world. So when I first went to my first PAX in 2012, I went on a 3-day badge. Media badges existed. I don't know if it was possible to get one as a streamer or YouTuber. Twitch may have still been Justin TV at that time. And I was going around and I would be like, I am a YouTuber. And people were going, what the heck does that mean? And I'm like, I make videos on YouTube. And people were like, you can, like, there's a ability to do that in video games? And I was like, yeah, it's just getting started. Now it's absurd. You walk around PAX, the Twitch booth is just gargantuan. And it contains a little private Illuminati section where Twitch partners can get in. They had a barista making coffee. They had soft pretzels. I took advantage of it, of course. You know why? Because I basically paid for the partner lounge by streaming on the platform. I mean, I wasn't standing outside of the booth going, this is outrageous, won't they care about the little people? I was like, nah, dude, I'm getting my ice Americano. I paid for it. I overpaid for it to an absurd degree, but anyway. This was really the year where, and I mean, there's a big Mixer booth, there's a big Facebook gaming booth. I'm not gonna, say anything negative about those platforms just because I don't interface with them, you know? More power to you. I'm happy the industry continues to expand, but you sincerely cannot shake a stick at people, or like in the convention center, I should say. You shouldn't shake a stick at people to begin with, but without seeing people that have a content creator badge. It's a different color badge, and it's probably like the 3rd best badge you can, or maybe, I don't know, 4th best badge you can have at the convention. It opens up a little bit of extra access for you. You get to show up for media hour on the first day, which is an hour early before the show floor opens. So it's like, you can see something very popular without having to wait in a really, really long line. And then you can also, you can sidle up to developers and be like, hey, I see you've got a lot of people that paid money to be at this show that want to play your game and they might purchase it, but I'm here to see if I could perhaps sneak up in line so that you could give me a copy for free and I could show it off to my audience. And that's kind of where I'm about to go with this. I saw a lot of posts, because when I'm at PAX, I like to get a timbre of the event, I go to the PAX subreddit. And I see, like, oh, what are people saying is, like, good to see? What are people saying, what's good about the show, what's bad about the show? Number one thing, a lot of posts from people that were like, I was playing a game, and then a streamer came up and was like, I'm a streamer, and the developer tapped me on the shoulder and was like, hey, I gotta kick you off. This is like a press priority station, which is something that genuinely happens all the time, and I have done it in the past. When I used to make appointments at PAX instead of just treating it as like a vacation where also I shake hands with people who recognize me and have conversations like that, which is way better. But anyway, so I get it. I do get it, but I get it from both sides. Like, you wouldn't believe it, but we had kind of like, here's the thing. I'm not like the best guy in the world. I try to act like a good guy most of the time, but the stories I'm about to tell are gonna be like, wow, he's like a saint, and this is not the case. I'm hesitant because, like, I always get skeptical when in somebody's stories they're like the hero, and then everybody clapped and that man was Albert Einstein. Like, Corey can vouch for this one. Anyway, all I'm saying is I do some jerkish things in my life, so hopefully that makes this story more believable. But we were in line to play a game, and you know, Corey and myself were hanging out, and we had content creator badges, and the developers were like, oh, so what are you guys doing? We're like, we stream. And they're like, oh, cool. So, like, do you want to play? And we're like, yeah, that's why we're in line. Your game looks neat. And there was one group of 4 in front of us, and he was like, hey, guys, could I get you to, like, move aside so that these guys can play first? And they were like me and the other group both simultaneously were like, no, they've been waiting in line. We were like, please, God, don't put that awkward situation on us where we're like, you know, just because we're standing in line, you spotlight us and be like, hey, these guys get to go first. I'm happy to wait in line, dude. It's like a 5-day vacation for me, and my pass was free. So we waited another 20 minutes, and then we played the game for ourselves. And we played for 20 minutes, and then we left. It was good. But, like, you know, it's, and I'll give you another story that makes it clear that I'm not the hero in this story. But I do think, you know, as streaming, YouTubing has become so much more ubiquitous. What is this room? What is this, a locksmith's wet dream? I need to get some friggin' keys cut, okay? You know what? I probably will do it, even though we did it last time. And I'll do it because we get to keep 9 lives. And I also think it's actually a genuine potential improvement. Wow. No kidding. We became Guppy in one room. So the other story is, we did cut in line at the Nintendo booth. But it was a situation where a friend of ours, who is probably watching this episode right now, was like, hey, I can get you into the Nintendo booth. And we were like, oh, that might be cool. And then he was like, I got you into the Nintendo booth. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to be the guy that, you know, is going to be impolite to be like, no, I'd rather sit in this line. So sure, yes, we did skip the Nintendo booth. But we didn't walk up with, you know, swinging content creator badges, if you know what I mean, and go like, yeah, I've got a Twitter account. And then they were like, oh, please, sir, after you. All the rest of the pros move back in line, please. But as streaming and YouTubing has become more ubiquitous, there's like literally maybe like 70 times as many YouTubers and streamers at the convention as there used to be. Like, everybody has a content creator badge. It's not that hard to get one. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm not saying they should make it more strict, but I do think that there should be like, we need to talk about the culture at a convention that's like, you know, by gamers for gamers. As I've gotten older and a lot more relaxed about like wanting to be taken seriously and having, you know, scoops. I want to be the first person to play this indie game and blah blah blah. I don't like to do that anymore because it feels bad, right? Like, people bought flights that might have been hundreds or potentially even thousands of dollars depending on when they're coming or where they're coming from. They're paying for hotels and they're like genuine fans. They're waiting in line to play something that they wouldn't otherwise have a chance to play. And you're going up and you're being like, well, I have a Twitch stream. And it doesn't matter the size of it, okay? Like, I don't think, even if, you know, I could walk up and be like, whoa, I get like a few thousand viewers. That doesn't make it more right for me to cut in line than somebody who's like, I get 10 viewers, but I have a content creator badge, right? It's just really, really kind of a jerk move to the people behind you in line to try to pull that. But I also think, and here's why it's complicated and it's not so easy for people to judge, play devil's advocate a little. It is more valuable to the developer, oh, we take them both, dude, and the publisher to have a streamer play the game than to have just a potential like one sale consumer play the game. At least as long as you're talking about like specific, you know, sizes that are not super low. Like, obviously, if somebody gets one concurrent viewer and they're cutting in line, they may have indeed lost the sale on the person that they, you know, made angry by letting them cut in line. But, you know, at a reasonable level, if somebody's doing this as like a job for their lives, they probably, you know, it's more valuable for them fiscally. But at the same time, so what? Like, it's a convention, you know, like why do streamers get special treatment just because like it's better for the publishers? Well, the reason is because the publishers are the ones exhibiting, and if they feel like it's not worth their money, then they may stop exhibiting, and then the convention's going to make a lot less money. You know, they make a lot of capital on sales as well. And I mean, I don't run events, so I have no idea. I sort of see you around here, so there you are. I don't run events, so I don't know what percentage it is. I'm just saying, okay? But I sort of feel like You know, PAX booth staff also kind of have an obligation to be like, you know, either have a press station, which a lot of companies have done in the past, and be like, okay, we have a station in the back, and when press come by for appointments, they play the game, and it's, you know, easy come, easy go. Or be like, well, you know, you can kind of wait in line with the rest of them. But I guess that's not really fair to the developers either, who are paying big money to maybe get their game in front of YouTubers. All I'm saying is this is a complicated issue. As a human being, and I've felt like this for a long time, as a human being, I feel really uncomfortable walking in front of other human beings, especially ones that have paid more to be at the event, because, like, my pass is free. And also, I could maybe just email the developer for a code literally on the spot and get it, instead of taking their spot in line to play it for 15 minutes and maybe never touch it again in the rest of my existence. But walking in front of, like, another human being and being like, hey, just so you know, like, in this specific venue, I'm more important than you, so, thanks for holding my spot for me, jerk. What I will say is, there were people that were like, I resent that the Twitch booth took up so much space, and then they had like a little private lounge in there for partners where they were just drinking coffee and looking at their phones, acting bored. And I was like, dude, I didn't buy the space, but I'm gonna use it. It was really nice to be like, we've been on the show floor long enough, let's, you know, go grab a coffee, and then also, like, because here's the thing, you're also kind of like, you know, if you're a streamer, you're like being sold at PAX. Some people are going to PAX because they're like, oh, I saw my favorite, I wanted to go, and then I saw that my favorite streamer was going to be there, so I'm going to be there too. And I was like, okay, I don't need a green room, obviously, that's insane. I don't even have to wash my hair, I'm bald. But to have caffeine on demand, sure, and a little quiet privacy, that's cool. Quiet-ish. But still, please put me in a glass box so I can be seen and judged at all times. Anyway. Plus, I don't know, what are they... Alright, they got rid of the Twitch booth. Nexon can put another 15 stations for the new Maple Story there. It's a little judgmental of me, admittedly, but I don't play Maple Story, so I can burn some bridges. But yeah, it's different, like, at an event like, you know, E3. Have at it. You know? There's private meeting rooms for for games media, regular people, normal people. They can get in to the show by paying like a pretty exorbitant amount of money. I think if, you know, your industry, that's an industry event. You can line up and then be like, hey, is there a chance I could like sneak through? Because like, I got 1,000 appointments today. PAX, I don't know, it's a little different to me. It's supposed to be like, by gamers for gamers, you know? People go there. I think I could try it. People go there, and then they'll be like, I had the best time. And you're like, oh, what'd you do? And they're like, I played NBA Jam in the console free play room with my friends for like 6 hours. And I'm like, dude, that's real cool. Like, I'm jealous. Simultaneously, can I have your spot in line? Because I run a stream. It makes me a very important individual. All I'm saying is, I do, here's the thing. Oftentimes, in these videos, I'm the guy who sides against the gamers. That's how you should know that I'm being fully honest and true to my beliefs here. I'm always, not always, I'm often the guy who's like, gamers get mad about too much stuff. Not all of them understand. No, thank you. You know, the problems that happen during development, the realities of development, and the fact that, you know, you can't just kickstart a game for 50 grand and be like, I'm gonna make a game that's better than Super Metroid, you know, like it's, I guess, theoretically possible. Don't even get me started on that left hand. You know what? Can't even pick it up. Theoretically possible, but highly unlikely. Hollow Knight. Anyway, probably pick the worst example, because many people do think Hollow Knight is better than Super Metroid, but I'm just saying in general, okay? That was a huge success story. But this time, I'm with the gamers. 100%. I don't care, you know, if like, oh, but if Northernlion puts it on his stream, we could sell 30 copies of it, so sorry, you know, Timothy from Canton, Ohio, you're worth nothing for us. It's just a little... Feels weird, man, is all I'm saying. Feels weird. I actually, whenever possible, this is not a joke, I prefer to roll incognito at PAX. Like, it's not like if I didn't, I'd be getting... That felt bad. Or did it? It's not like I'd be getting stopped all the time. I'm not going incognito to try to be like, I don't want to see fans who are abundantly and universally just nice and like, I've been watching your videos, and I'm like, thank you. And they're like, can I get a photo? And I'm like, yes. And then we take a photo, and I always look better in the photo than I do in real life. So it's really like it's a dream come true for me. It's more because like it's kind of awkward sometimes. Like I just want to go to the event and like play video games and line up like a normal human being instead of the super celebrity that I am. It's so hard. I have to retreat to the private lounge to get a new espresso. Anyway, you get the idea though. Because so then you line up for a game, and maybe it's like an indie game, hypothetically, every time, and they're like, so what do you do? And you're like, I'm a Twitch streamer. And they're like, oh really? What's your channel? And you're like, I don't want to tell you because you might look it up, and then the only reactions that can happen will be like, you gotta play this, what can I do to get you to play this? Like, my hopes and dreams hinge on you playing this. Or you're gonna be like, oh, well, yeah, keep at it, Slugger, you'll get there one day. And like, just because you had Jacksepticeye come by earlier in the show, that doesn't mean I'm not doing okay for myself, okay? So what you're gonna say, if you're an experienced PAX attendee, is you can totally do that. Just buy a 3-day badge instead of getting a media badge. Yeah, but I don't want to pay $100. I just want to be anonymous, but also get my pass on the back of the fact that I have a slight degree of noteworthiness in the industry. Is that so much to ask? Yes, it's impossible. Okay, well, fair enough. I was asking out of goodwill. Now you've educated me, and I appreciate it. We should really blow up the judgment to try to make this run a little bit longer. You know what's actually nice about a 20-minute Isaac episode? Is that, like, I feel like in a normal length Isaac episode, you go down more roads, no question about it. But in, like, a 20-minute long Isaac episode, you just cover one topic, and then you're like, well, I gotta wrap it up. Anyway, as always, this concludes the PAX arc of Northernlion's Isaac gameplay. Great games. Thanks to the exhibitors for working their butts off. Okay, well. And the enforcers for making sure, you know, nobody's cutting in line. Except for the people that have the yellow badges. I appreciate it. And then, yeah, to anybody who met me at the show, you were all very nice. It's very fulfilling for me, in particular. I know that sounds self-important, but I mean, like, it's always nice when you go to the show and you're like, people are like, hey, I like you. And you're like, thank you. It's like unsolicited flattery. It's very nice. But also scary if you go to the show floor on one day and like 3 people recognize you, and then you go on the next day and nobody recognizes you. You're like, oh no. What did I do? Anyway, that's a different situation. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.